Let's just get started, okay? All right.
All right.
I know we on a tight schedule. Let's get started. Miss Williams, the name of your business is what? Music and Things.
Yes, it's called Music and Things. We do piano lessons. We do all types of musical programs such as weddings, funerals, and then we also sell music books, music pads, music pens, little novelty items.
Okay. Okay. Your overall experience as a business owner. Can you expound on that for me?
Well, pretty much my business has been built up on word of mouth. I don't have a building. I use a spare room at my house that I conduct all my business, such as the lessons, and I teach adults and children. The experience has been pretty good. I felt like if I had a location, I could probably do twice as much as I do now. But pretty much it's pretty steady with the flow of students that I have. On the business side of it, where I'm selling things, it could come up a whole lot.
Okay. Okay. What products do your business sell?
Well, as I said before, I do piano instruction for youth to adults. I also sell any type of novelty items, such as pens, pencils, papers, music pillows, music books, anything dealing with music. I have a little novelties that I sell, and a lot of times the students will want to buy the books from me instead of going to Greenville because I'm closer than, I'm right here with the books.
Right,
so I can
right.
sell the books to
Okay,
them. And then the other novelty items that they would like, I have most of those too.
Okay. Can you tell me who is your target customer and why?
Well, I really like teaching the children, so I gear that more towards them by letting sometimes teachers have certain students that they see that have a musical interest, they'll recommend their parents to see me. But then at other times, you have adults that want to take it, and I will accommodate them as well. But my target markets would be the children from the age of about 5. When they start reading or recognizing letters, 4 to 5, that's when I would start encouraging parents to start their kids.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Miss Williams, let me ask you this: what's your marketing strategy, and what mechanisms do you use to market to your customer?
Well, I guess I'm like a dinosaur. I still do word of mouth. Every now and then I do some flyers. I really know I need to update my computer skills because I know a lot of people are using social media to advertise their businesses. So that's a piece that I need to learn, how to market it digitally so people can see me everywhere.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a little limited on that one.
Okay. All right. How do your prices compare with your competitors?
Well, given that a piano lesson now is about $30 per 30-minute session, I am a little bit cheaper than that. Not saying that the service is cheap, but saying that I make it affordable to the customers that I have. So if you go just 30 minutes away, you'll probably wind up paying up $30 to $45 to get a good lesson.
So your prices are cheaper than.
I try to keep it in the $20 range.
Okay.
Because I realize that the area that I am, there is some economic impact here.
Okay. Speaking of your competitors, who would you say are your biggest competitors? Do you try to stay up to date with what they are doing?
Well, pretty much. I live in a rural setting. Now, when I was living in town, I had the music store, but then they hired me, so that took away the competition. I was the competition. But when the music store closed, then pretty much I didn't have anybody to compete with other than teachers that live like in other cities, maybe Greenville or Rocky Mount, New Bern, something like that. Because even in our community arts space, there wasn't a piano teacher. They had all other kinds of instructors, but no piano.
No piano teacher. Okay. Okay.
So there's room for growth. I just have to figure out where to go, what next steps to make.
Right, right. Okay, in your honest opinion, is your business currently as successful as you would like? Why or why not?
Well, of course not. I always want to be a big business with the music. As I said, it's just word of mouth. A lot of people don't know that I'm going to do it. They don't know that I do it. Only time they recognize that I'm doing it when they see me out playing, and they don't ask me how long you been playing. They have questions
Right.
like that. So I really need to get the word out that I actually do provide lessons for children and adults. So yeah, there's more room for success. I just have to figure out how to get there.
Okay, okay, all right. What do you believe your business does that creates the value for your customers?
Well, in taking piano lessons, the teacher must have patience. I remember growing up having teachers that, they would use rulers and all this, spanking your fingers. But the thing about this, you have to have a lot of patience. You have to figure out if your student learns well by seeing it or hearing it. Once you got to figure that out, you know how to do the lesson that here to the way that they learn best.
Right.
You take your time and try to figure out the way that they learn best. But then again, you do have some people that are not musically gifted and they struggle. Those people, I will let their parents know that maybe they should do sport because it's very expensive. You're talking about 4 lessons a month, that's at least $80. And so if they're not gaining it in about a 6-month period, they're probably not going to get it.
Right.
Music is very hard.
Right.
Playing the piano is very hard.
So what you saying is a lot of people think that it's easy until they get to it and then they find out it's not.
And then they get frustrated. Then I get frustrated.
Right.
And then nobody accomplishes anything. But I try not to show that frustration. I will give them at least 6 months to get the basic. I can kind of tell then if they're going to be a good musician or if they're just going to be casual. I can kind of see where they're at.
Okay.
In 6 months. So they can hold out to that 6 months period. I kind of figure out where to go with it.
Okay. All right. What do you think your business can do better?
Well, definitely advertise more. Like I said, through social media, the local communities, even at the schools, even at the library, different places, putting up posters. Just let people know that I'm here and that I'm, available to do lessons.
Okay.
And that I also have trinkets and things they may want to purchase for their loved ones that are musically inclined.
Okay. All right. What challenges is your business currently facing?
Well, every time there's an economic downturn, some things are a luxury. Piano lessons would be a luxury for some students because they don't have the extra money to pay. And that's, if I continue to do it, I'd like to figure a way to grant those students a pass or some way to take it without the burden of paying for it. But we've got to walk before we crawl,
Right.
crawl before we walk. So, in long term, I really like to see a full-blown music program in my community, which gives to everybody. We have all kinds of teachers providing lessons for students.
Okay. Okay. What do you think your business will look like in 5, 10, say 20 years?
Well, in the next 5 years, I hope I have a dedicated spot, location for students to come in. I hope I have staff to come in and work with various students. I hope I have the equipment that I would need to run that type of studio, and maybe even have studio time. You have a lot of local artists that need places to go, practice and rehearse, and even record.
Right.
I mean, music can be wide open. That's kind of like a long range thing. Right now, I'm just trying to get my solid clientele, which I do have a pretty solid clientele, but to add more to what I have.
Right.
And then it would mandate me to try to, locate in a building.
Okay, well, we got a few more questions, Ms. Williams. I'm going to ask you, then we're going to wrap this interview up, okay? Okay, just be patient with me here. At what point did you decide to become an entrepreneur? Was it some life event or job loss or, etc.?
Well, basically, I moved back home to help my mom and dad because they were, getting up in age. My dad was sick, and so I came home and I was just minding my own business basically, and walked into a music store and began talking with the people at the music store. And one of the workers said, "We need a music teacher," and I'm like, "Okay." And so I didn't pay any mind to it. But he got my phone number and stuff, and so later on, the owner called me about renting a studio. And so basically that's how I got started, through the music shop. But then when the music shop closed down, he was suffering with the economic problems and all that, so he closed down. So then I had to take those students that I have remaining, with me,
Right.
basically.
Okay.
And but I kind of got, like I said, I didn't really look at it as being an entrepreneur, but I was, because I had to keep the records of how many students, how much I made, how much my commission would be going in, and this, that, and the other. So yeah, that's how I became one.
Okay.
Just moving home and didn't have a job, and there was a job.
That was a job. Okay. All right. How did your significant other or family feel about you becoming an entrepreneur?
Well, I guess they were happy with it. You're getting some money.
Right.
At some point, I hope they were happy.
Right.
Because they always thought I was great with the music. They tell me all the time, But I think they were okay.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And I'm sure if I reached out to them now to ask them to help me, if I stretch out a little bit, they would be glad to help.
Okay. All right. Did you have to get any capital to start your business?
No, because when I initiated with the music store, they had studios. You just had to give them percentage of what you
Right.
made.
Okay.
So pretty much, you were running your own studio in the back of the
Right.
music shop.
Okay. So you were just renting a spot to give.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so I didn't have the equipment. I didn't have to provide any
Okay.
equipment.
Okay. So the equipment, the piano, and everything, the keyboard, whatever,
Right.
was already there. in
Right.
place. Okay. Did you have doubts about your decision to become an entrepreneur?
Well, I didn't really give it a thought. I just thought of it as another job. Not knowing really I would be my own boss,
Okay.
and so it was kind of like on a whim, but yeah. I just kind of became my own boss.
Boss. Okay. All right. Okay. Did you have a mentor to guide you? Did you take classes or small business, incubator, anything like that?
Well, a friend and I, we did go out to the local community college at one point to take a class or two, to do something totally different. But pretty much it was a wing and a prayer. I didn't have a mentor. I just said, I'm going to go in for it, and that's what happened.
Okay.
You just learn by trial and error.
By trial and error. Okay. All right. All right. How did you decide what business to start? Was it from a hobby or skills acquired at a previous job?
Well, I grew up playing the piano, and it really started off with a wager with my dad. He said, I'm going to buy this piano, but if I buy it now, you got to learn how to play it. And then he started off with lessons. He quit, and I kept on going.
Kept on going.
And so over the years, even as a child, I began playing for various things, especially in the church, because in the church you have hymn books. You got to read music.
Right.
So that's how I learned that way. And I went off to school. I thought I wanted to be a music major, when I got there, I said, "Oh, I can do what they do already. So why
Right.
major with music?"
Right.
You know, I took a few courses. I went another direction, not still recognizing all this time. I probably could have just been a music teacher.
Right. So how old were you when you started playing?
8, 7 or 8, somewhere in
When you
there.
started taking music lessons?
Mhm.
7 or 8. Okay. All right. What are your business strengths or weaknesses, if you have any?
Well, I'm sure there's a lot that I can learn. I mean, I'm not a business expert by no means. You know, I've learned now to network with other people that are running their own business and get pointers from them. But I think my strengths would be my personality, my skill, being able to communicate with any type of person, just being able to teach them.
Right.
And they feel confident when they come. Even the worst student I have feels confident that they can do something.
Do so. Okay.
So just building up. And the thing about music, it helps with kids. It helps with their math and reading skills.
Okay.
It's like a 2-for-1. You're doing music, but you're doing math. Because music's all about numbers.
Right.
And then reading, you have to read.
Right.
So it's like a 2-for-1. I tell the parent, you're doing it's a good thing for your kid.
Okay. Okay. How has the internet been a positive or negative in your business?
Well, I guess I need to come up to date with the internet. Because I see a lot of people doing the piano lessons on the internet. But the thing about that, you don't really get the full personal touch that you need. You need a teacher right there with you. Even though they're on the internet, they can't sit beside you and show you exactly what you need to do.
Right.
You know, so on the other hand, I need to find out the best way for me to try to do that and keep the personality and the closeness in it with the student so they can feel like I'm right there with them.
Okay.
So I need to bring my internet skills up to date to match others because there's a lot of competition in that area.
Okay. All right. All right. I have one last question, and then we will conclude this interview. If you had to do it all over again, what would you do differently?
Oh Lord, I don't have no clue. I really don't have a clue what I would do. Because like I said, when I started, I didn't even think I was being an entrepreneur. I just think I was working with somebody else. And so, only thing I would do now, like I said, is to learn more about business, the business side of having a business, so that I could not miss out on things by not knowing things.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's very good, Ms. Williams. And again, this has been a class on entrepreneurship, and we were interviewing Ms. Faye Williams with Music and Things. And Ms. Williams, I want to say again, thank you for taking time out to come and to be involved in this interview and for accepting the interview. So we want to say thank you again, and I hope you have a good evening.
You're certainly welcome, sir.
All right. Thank you.